Is it going to damage something that's recreational? It's an exchange. It's a simple exchange. That's all it is.
It's amazing because there's this wild canyon that most people don't know about, just a short drive from Phoenix near Superior, and it's got these incredible rock formations, a running creek, this series of waterfalls and pools that you can swim through. But when I heard a company had found copper at Apache Leap, it got me to thinking that that place could become a mine before most people even realize it's there, you know?
In the tech age, we're all copper addicts. Without copper, you wouldn't be watching this film right now. An area called the Copper Triangle east of Phoenix is notable for open pit mines and small industry towns such as Superior and Hayden, which have struggled through the boom and bust economy for decades. In 1955, President Dwight D. Eisenhower decided that there was one place in the Copper Triangle that should never be mined: Oak Flat, a forested public campground and longtime gathering place sacred to Native Americans. Oak Flat offers a cool escape from the desert heat, where springs flow into canyons and spectacular rock formations abound. Oak Flat is a haven for wildlife that make a living from the area's natural abundance. Available water and a healthy plant community make Oak Flat a magnet for creatures great and small. Despite Oak Flat's federal protection, overseas corporations and several Arizona politicians have begged Congress for a legal claim to this area. In the early 2000s, engineers detected a large copper ore body 7,000 feet below Oak Flat. By 2005, Senator Jon Kyl submitted a bill to Congress that would overturn Eisenhower's law and give Oak Flat to a foreign-based mining company called Resolution Copper. This free Forest Service use area is popular among Superior residents as a picnic site. Oak Flat also attracts thousands of campers, hikers, off-road enthusiasts, birdwatchers, and hunters each year. Exploring the area reveals ancient Native American rock art painted on nearby boulders. Members of the San Carlos Apache Tribe hold Oak Flat in special regard. This is sacred land for them, a place where vital coming-of-age ceremonies have been performed for centuries and continue today. With thousands of established climbing routes and bouldering challenges, the Oak Flat area is also one of the premier climbing destinations in North America. From 1989 to 2004, the largest bouldering contest in the country, the Phoenix Boulder Blast, drew hundreds of contestants and thousands of spectators to Oak Flat. Climbers continue to visit for the combination of climate, limitless challenge, and beauty. Walking to the eastern edge of Oak Flat, you soon arrive at what Apaches call Gaan Canyon. Identified on maps as Devil's Canyon, it's not only a stunning gorge. It also contains one of the rarest forest types in the world, a Sonoran Desert riparian area. Only 10% or less of Arizona's original desert riparian forests still exist in 2012, making Devil's Canyon one of the most important and valuable free-running streams remaining in the state. Perennial springs give the canyon bottom a lush, diverse ecosystem, including thick native tree canopies and grassy banks. The water attracts wildlife such as bears, mountain lions, and quadrimundis. Dozens of species of breeding birds also depend upon Devil's Canyon for nesting habitat. The scenery is as magnificent as any in Arizona. Devil's Canyon features towering rock spires, tranquil pools, and a wild, quiet character that makes it easy to forget the outside world. Hiking downstream through this natural ribbon of life eventually brings one to the famous waterfalls that make for a classic canyoneering adventure. It's not uncommon to see people rappelling or jumping into the emerald polished stone pools. What is the future of these places? If certain past and present Arizona representatives have their way, it will eventually become a dry pile of rubble. In 2011, Congressman Paul Gosar's bill, the Southeast Arizona Land Exchange and Conservation Act, passed the House. In late 2012, the bill now sits before the Senate. This bill will privatize the federally protected Oak Flat for Resolution Copper, giving the company unprecedented freedom to mine. By privatizing the land, Congress would in effect allow the mining company to bypass crucial environmental laws. NEPA requires impact studies on water, air, cultural resources, recreation, and other critical considerations. NEPA also requires public input to help determine whether a project is even to be permitted.
Are you prepared to do a pre-NEPA on your home before you sell it? Because that's what's coming. That's not right. That's an overbearing government. That's a layer that needs to be taken away. There is no value to it. It just stops things.
The way Gosar's bill is worded, a NEPA study would take place only after the land exchange is approved, when the land would then belong to Resolution Copper. As for the land exchange, Resolution Copper is offering what they claim are quote-unquote environmentally sensitive lands. Closer inspection reveals, however, that the lands are of poor overall quality with limited value. For example, 3,000 acres of the proposed swap lands are located along the San Pedro River drainage in southern Arizona. Upstream from this section, the San Pedro flows year-round, but not in this stretch of dry riverbed. Instead, the notable feature here is a mesquite tree forest. Such forests are a sign of overgrazing by cattle and offer no habitat for water-dependent wildlife as in Devil's Canyon. None of the lands to be swapped include living Sonoran Desert riparian areas, established climbing areas, campgrounds, significant Native American cultural value, nor any mineral value. Resolution Copper also promises a financial boon from the mine, but a financial boondoggle is what it would be. That's because zero royalties are to be paid to the copper's current owners, the U.S. public, while foreign corporations would make billions. Oil and gas companies pay royalties, but not mining companies, per the giveaway deal written in the economically devastating 1872 mining law. One certainty in mining's future is more automation, which provides greater safety but also eliminates jobs. Resolution Copper's parent companies are worldwide leaders in mine robotics. The stated plan is to automate wherever possible in what would be a dangerously hot and mile-and-a-half deep mine. Of what jobs remain, many would be outsourced to employees who live in Phoenix and out of state, as is the case with Resolution Copper's operations thus far. Local jobs for Superior, a town of 2,800 people, would become available, but full-scale mine operations would be a long 8 to 10 years off. As it is now in 2012, miners here don't lack for work. A cursory online search reveals scores of unfilled positions among Arizona's 10 working mines. In 2011, Representative Raul Grijalva submitted an amendment to Representative Gosar's bill that would require Resolution Copper to hire locally in Arizona, place a remote operating center in Superior, and keep all smelting operations in the United States. While these measures would have held Resolution Copper to their word regarding the creation of local jobs, the bill was defeated by Republicans. As for Oak Flat, Resolution Copper plans to excavate a mile-wide, several thousand-foot deep cavern beneath the campground using a method called block cave mining. When enough rock is removed, the surface will subside into the underground chamber, collapsing the ground. The landmark cliffs at Apache Leap would also be in danger of ruin. Resolution Copper estimates over 1 billion tons of rock would be excavated, yet only 3% of it would be copper. The other 97% comprised of waste rock would be dumped nearby, likely at a spot adjacent to the Superstition Mountain Wilderness area near the town of Queen Valley. There's a saying in the Southwest, water is more precious than gold. But where does that leave copper? Needing an estimated 30 to 40,000 acre-feet of water per year, Resolution Copper's proposed mine will tap limited groundwater supplies, which would quickly dry up springs in Devil's Canyon and around Oak Flat. A priceless riparian stretch would be no more. With the groundwater table already plummeting in Superior, and the state in the midst of a 14-year drought, Resolution Copper's water needs could prove disastrous to the area. In late 2012, following a slowdown in the global metals market, Resolution Copper announced it was laying off workers and cutting back funding for its proposed mine unless the land swap is approved. While no one wants to see Superior's workers unemployed, the announcement is a reminder that copper jobs depend on the volatile worldwide market. Longtime residents know that when prices are down, mines close down. Towns like Superior, downtrodden after decades of trying to live on an economy that cannot sustain families nor businesses for the long term, deserve a better future. Vision is needed to change its economic base to a more sustainable and lucrative industry such as tourism. Fortunately, Superior is blessed with an abundance of good people, natural beauty, history, recreational opportunities, and cultural features that already bring visitors. Nearby attractions such as the Boyce Thompson Arboretum, Oak Flat, Devil's Canyon, Picket Post Mountain, and Apache Leap are the true treasures of the Copper Triangle. It makes sense to conserve such places as investments rather than destroy them forever for a pocket of short-term change. Continued and expanded federal protection is needed for the fragile and priceless Apache Leap, Devil's Canyon, and Oak Flat. Rare gems such as these are Arizona's most valuable resource, now and in the future.